Good afternoon and welcome to our first Hawkeye Parent and Family webinar of the 2017-2018 academic year. My name is Lisa Kelly and I work in the Office of Academic Support and Retention, and I'll be the moderator for today's webinar. If you're unfamiliar with our webinars, they're hosted on the first Friday of each month from noon to 1 p.m. We hope that each one provides you with up-to-date information that may apply to your students' transition to the University of Iowa. We know that parents and family members play a vital role in student success, and we hope that these webinars provide a platform for us to provide you with resources that help you support your student in their success. If you can't attend every live webinar, we do record and post them later on both our website and on YouTube. For more information, future topics, or to sign up for webinars, please visit parents.uiowa.edu and click on the Resources tab. Each webinar has a short presentation and then a question and answer portion where you can get your questions answered by our campus experts. Today's webinar is Making the Big Move on Iowa and Move-In. We're very lucky to have two wonderful campus partners with us today. Kate Soika is the Director of On Iowa and New Student Initiatives, and Greg Thompson is the Director for Residence Education. Both will share information that will help you and your student in understanding the on-campus move-in process and the On Iowa Welcome Weekend, including the expectations for students and the expectations for parents and families. We'll start off with Greg and Move-In.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join us. It's an exciting and electric time on campus as we're getting ready for all of your students to join us here for the start of the academic year. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about our move-in process. Many of you may have heard a little bit about it at orientation. Some of you may need a little refresher as well too. And we'll assure you that in our presentation is also the link to where you can find this information on our website as well too. So our big move-in dates and times are going to be Tuesday, August 15th, Wednesday, August 16th, and Thursday, August 17th. This is when the majority of the first-year class will be moving into the residence halls on campus in Iowa City. Students have been assigned a 1-hour time block for move-in on each of those days. The time blocks are 9 a.m. to noon and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be taking a break between noon and 2 p.m. to allow us to clear out traffic and allow for the lunch traffic break rush in Iowa City as well too. Your student was assigned a 1-hour time frame within one of those time blocks. For example, your student may have been assigned 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. That means you and your student can arrive to unload your move-in items anytime between the 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. time frame. The time was determined by room assignments, so you should be moving in at the same time as your roommate and the other students that will be living with you on your specific floor in the residence halls. If your assigned time doesn't work on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, there are some limited spots for changing times. Your student can go in and select a new time by logging in through the link that they received in their housing assignment email where their move-in time was listed as well too. If your student hasn't let you know when their move-in time is, they can find that in their housing assignment and also through MyUI as well too. We'll talk about some of the specifics for each of the buildings that your student may be moving into because each building does things a little bit differently across campus. The first building that we'll talk about is Mayflower. Mayflower is out on Dubuque Street where we have some significant construction going on right now. But your student, if they're moving into Mayflower, will be checking in at Mayflower. You should be getting an email in the next week with specific driving directions on how to arrive to Mayflower Hall by coming in through specific exits off the interstate in Iowa City. We ask that you please follow those specific driving directions as it will allow you to avoid the majority of traffic and construction within Iowa City and get you to Mayflower Hall as quickly as possible. We do have a parking lot in the back of the building at Mayflower Hall where you'll be able to park for up to 30 minutes to unload your belongings when you arrive at the building. We are going to have a squadron of volunteers to help bring your belongings into the building with a series of carts. And so hopefully you'll do not so much lifting as our volunteers help you bring your things into the building. Once your car is unloaded, and we're going to ask a family member to stay with the car, we're going to ask you to move your car out of the parking lot behind Mayflower Hall to allow for other students and families to park and move their belongings into Mayflower. So you cannot park at the building, but we will be providing some parking spaces just across the street at Hancher Auditorium for you to park and then return to Mayflower Hall to help your students unpack and set up their room. We will have staffed shuttles from Hancher Auditorium to Mayflower Hall and back that you can ride in so that you can have easy access to your vehicle during, before, and after your student has moved in. For all the halls that aren't Mayflower, your process will be somewhat similar to each other. Hillcrest, Peterson, Reno, Slater, Burge, Courier, Daum, our brand new hall, Catlett, and Stanley Hall will all be checking in at the individual residence halls where your student is assigned. You will also receive specific driving instructions on how to enter the city and drive through campus to get to your residence halls that allow you to maximize avoiding traffic and avoiding construction projects within the city. Again, I emphasize, please do follow those specific directions that we send you. Don't stick it into your Google Maps and come that way, or you may run into some unexpected construction or traffic delays. Once you arrive at your residence hall, the process will work very similar to what happens at Mayflower. We will have volunteers with carts ready to unload your car and take your belongings up to your student's room while your student completes the check-in process in the lobby of our residence halls. We ask that your student please be sure to bring their Hawk ID with them, because that will be the first thing we ask for to get them moved into the residence halls. Many move-in volunteers should be available. There may be a slight wait as you pull up, but once again, you'll have a 30-minute time period to unload your car with the help of volunteers. You cannot park at the buildings on the east and west side of campus as well too. We'll ask you to move your vehicles after that 30-minute time frame. In these locations, we're going to ask you to move your vehicle to the Hawk lot, which is located on Melrose Avenue on the west side of campus. We will be providing shuttles through our CAN bus service to get you back to the residence halls to help your student unpack, unload. You can look for the shuttles at the Hawk commuter lot at the tent area, which will be staffed with volunteers and some water for you as well too, as you get ready to do some more unpacking and lifting. For all the details about move-in, you can see our website at housing.uiowa.edu/move-in. On that site, you can find information about what to bring, more importantly, what not to bring. You can find a video that'll show you a little bit about what move-in looks like on our campus. And you'll also be able to find those videos of the specific driving routes, which are really helpful to help orient you to what you're going to see on the way into town and make sure that you feel comfortable navigating your way to the residence halls. All right, so for some of you, those 3 big move-in days may seem a little bit intimidating, or perhaps you're not able to get away during the week to move into the residence halls. We do have an opportunity for early move-in, and that will occur on Sunday, August 13th. Those shifts are just slightly different from what we'll offer during the course of the week. You'll be able to move in from 9 a.m. to noon or 1 to 5 p.m. on Sunday, August 13th. This will again be a 1-hour shift, but this you must sign up for through our website as well too. The link to that can also be found through your student's housing assignment letter that they received. There is a fee for early move-in, and that's $45 a day to move in early. So if you move in on Sunday, you'd be paying an early move-in fee to stay on Sunday night and Monday night, and then your student's contract starts normally on that Tuesday, August 15th. Check-in again on early move-in will be at the individual residence halls. You should still follow those same traffic patterns to avoid any construction or traffic delays. And we will have some limited volunteers to assist you on Sunday. Not as many as the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So do be prepared that you might have to check out a cart and do some moving in of your own, but we will be providing some volunteers. Also, on Sunday, August 13th, as part of your early move-in fees, dining will be available for students who move in early. So no worries about finding that food if your students are here on their own. All right, some tips for move-in that are always helpful to think about before you start loading up. Again, we mentioned be prepared for some traffic. It can be a little busy during move-in times, and waiting in line or waiting in traffic is a pretty normal part of the process. We work with a lot of campus partners, including our university police department, to help manage traffic and parking the best that we can. So we ask for your patience as we work through getting you close to the building and remembering that we have over 7,000 residents living with us on campus this year. We ask that you try to minimize the number of vehicles you do bring to campus. I stressed a couple different times, parking is extremely limited around our residence halls, and part of what helps the process move quickly is when we have cars that can move out, get their items out quickly and move to a different location so more cars can park and unload. So do think about how many vehicles you're able to bring, or if you're able to consolidate folks within one vehicle to come to campus. Remember to ask your student to verify and check which date and time they're scheduled to move in. This will be important so that they make sure that they're coming at the right time, so that we'll be ready to welcome them into the halls. One piece of advice we give lots of families and students is, as you're starting to pack to come to college and you realize that you may need a trailer or a moving van to move in, you may want to ask some questions about if you need everything that's within the trailer or moving van. We don't typically have spots for large vehicles during move-in because of the quantity and volume of traffic that we have. However, we do recognize that many families may have several students that they're moving in, or a community may pair together to rent a truck to bring students to campus. If that situation applies to you, we ask that you arrive after 5 p.m. on our move-in days on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday and go directly to your residence hall to check in. At that time, we should have some more accessible parking to accommodate your trailer or moving van. You should note, after 5 p.m., we will not have volunteer staffing to move in at that time, but we will have carts available for checkout for you to do your move-in. And just another reminder, students should bring that Hawk ID with them to check in to make sure to expedite the process of getting their room key and up to their room as quickly as possible. Some final tips that will help ensure that you have a great move-in and your students have a great start to the academic year is to make some decisions on what to add to the room potentially when you arrive. We have a lot of stores and opportunities in the community where you can buy things like closet organizers or plastic bins or decorative tables or anything that your student's going to want to put into the room. We really encourage you to come to the room, see the space that you have, get a roommate in there with you as well too, and then make some determinations about what else you might like to add to the room. That way you don't bring a lot of items that maybe you have to take back home when you determine that there maybe isn't space for what you thought you were going to have. Be prepared when you check in for your student to list an emergency contact and any important emergency information about themselves. That includes any allergies or any medical concerns. We will ask for that on our residence hall check-in information as well too. Emergency contact can be a family member. It can also be someone that's not a family member. You should talk with your students so that they're prepared to list someone on that card. All beds in our residence halls, with the exception of Mayflower, start out at a lofted state, which means that they're at the highest level on the wood frames that we provide. That lofted bed allows for access underneath the bed for things such as a futon, or to move the room desk, or to put a chair if you're bringing a chair, lots of different options for configurations. We recognize that not all students will want a lofted bed, and so when you arrive to campus, you will be able to request to have your bed lowered at the front desk of your residence hall. This is another process where we ask your patience because we do de-loft a lot of beds during the move-in process, and so it may take a day or two before we're able to get to your room to de-loft that bed. Finally, as a reminder, your student will have an upper-class student resident assistant on their floor that's there to assist them with their transition and help them with any questions that they may have. We highly encourage you to take advantage of our staff as you're moving into the residence hall to ask those last-minute questions that you have, to get advice on where you may need to go in the community to grab a bite to eat or to buy the things that you need for your room, or any other items that we can help to assist you and your student in making their transition successful to the University of Iowa. We're really looking forward to move-in days. It's when our residence halls really start to come alive again, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Okay, well, hello everyone. My name is Kate Soika, and I'm the director of the ONOWA program. On behalf of the university community, we welcome you to the Hawkeye family. We look forward to having your students join us in just a couple weeks. So what is the ONOWA program? Your students should have received a colorful trifold in the U.S. postal mail about 2 weeks ago with an overview on the ONOWA website information. In addition, an email was sent to students earlier this week. Think of the ONOWA program as the second part to summer orientation. The big differences between summer orientation and ONOWA are that students will come to campus with their academic schedules in hand, actually move into their residence dwelling, either on or off campus, and then their family members will leave campus to return home. As you can imagine, there are many emotions expressed during this time period. Through the ONOWA program, we focus on helping your students connect with people, resources, and the services they may need to know in order to succeed at Iowa. ONOWA is truly a campus-wide effort to help your students start to build their sense of belonging within our campus community. If you attended summer orientation, you might remember the 5 gold banners in front of the IMU and the windows. These are the 5 components of the Iowa Challenge, in which your student was introduced to in summer orientation and will hear about throughout their undergraduate years. We encourage students to embrace the Iowa Challenge as the mission statement and focus on graduating the university as a well-rounded Hawkeye. More information about the Iowa Challenge can be found on the university website. In summary, the overall goal of the ONOWA program is to help new students become more comfortable with the university environment prior to the first day of classes. One of the best parts of participating in ONOWA is that all of the events and activities are free, so there are no additional costs. Since we expect all members of the class of 2021 to attend the core elements on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they are already registered for the ONOWA experience. We know that transfer students are coming to campus with a skill set that they developed at another institution. Therefore, we have invited and highly encouraged transfer students to register by Thursday, August 10th for a small group experience. This is a great way to meet other transfer students with similar experiences and to become familiar with campus and the resources. First thing first, we want your students to get settled into their new residence during the move-in days. The next step is to ask your student if they have a University of Iowa ID. If not, head over to the lower level of Jessup Hall between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to retrieve their university ID. With their ID in hand, students should head on down to the second floor ballroom in the IMU to officially check into the ONOWA program. This process will take about 10 to 15 minutes. The important piece of checking into the ONOWA program is that your students will receive their personal itinerary, which is unique for each student. We also email a copy of their itinerary to them Thursday night should they lose the paper copy. New students will also receive some other materials such as a Class of 2021 or New Student Transfer t-shirt. Let's spend a few minutes to go through the core elements of the ONOWA program in which we expect the Class of 2021 to attend. ONOWA small group time is led by an upper class student known as an ONOWA leader. Leaders will facilitate activities to help group members get to know each other, as well as to give an overview of the ONOWA schedule. Small groups consist of about 28 students from the same resident hall area or off-campus neighborhood. We will place roommates together in groups, but not an entire resident floor. The idea behind the small group composition is to help students get to know other students within the residential neighborhood. ONOWA leaders will then guide students through a 3-session rotation. The rotation includes 2 workshops focusing on 2 components of the Iowa Challenge, Excel and Choose, and the dinner. The Excel session is led by a distinguished faculty member in a large lecture hall. This will be the first time many of our new students will need to navigate a large lecture room that holds anywhere from 300 to 800 people. We rather have them do this before the first week of classes. Otherwise, some may be surprised or overwhelmed when they walk into lecture the first day. Faculty members will engage your student in a discussion to talk about the differences between high school and college academics, academic resources on campus, and the ideas on how to be a successful student at Iowa. The other session focuses around Choose. Students will talk about making healthy choices within their newfound independence per se, which will include the positive impact of bystander intervention as well as Hawks Helping Hawks program. To conclude, the expected core activities on Friday, all small groups will head over to Kinnick Stadium to actually spend a bit of time on the field. They will take the traditional class iPhoto, learn about traditions of Iowa and songs, and watch fireworks. It's a very spirited night for everyone to get involved, including students who are not excited about athletics. It's also a great way to start off the year. The core elements on Saturday will occur in late morning from 10:30 a.m. to noon. ONOWA small groups will meet again to talk about some of the elements surrounding the Iowa Challenge. First, they will recap the previous night's Excel session and set some academic goals for the fall semester. Then they will talk about what they're good at as an individual and how to focus their interests and passions towards getting involved. This will also include talking about StrengthsFinder assessment that they are currently taking as part of the Online Success at Iowa course. In the afternoon, students are encouraged to engage and explore a variety of campus clubs, organizations, and programs between noon and 6 p.m. Is your student interested in becoming a campus leader, serving the campus or local communities through volunteerism, finding a spiritual group to be part of, perhaps joining a fraternity or sorority, or even exploring gaming outlets or to take the stage with a performance club? Saturday afternoon will encourage students to think about how they want to get involved within the university community. Sunday concludes the final core events for the On Iowa program. We think of this day as President's Day, as the university president, Bruce Harold, and his wife, Mary, are very excited to welcome the new students. Resident assistants will lead their resident hall communities to convocation, which is held outside on the east side of the campus, Old Capitol Museum. Convocation is the time in which students officially commit to their academics and being a Hawkeye. Administrators and faculty members will be in attendance to lead this special ceremony. Following convocation, President Harrell will invite all students to the President's house for dinner. This is a festive event and a way to relax prior to the beginning of classes the next day. At this point, some of you might be thinking, well, that's great, but I'm dropping off my student on Tuesday. What are they going to do prior to Friday? In short, we're going to keep them busy. As you will notice on the slide, we have planned over 100 activities between Tuesday afternoon straight through Sunday, anytime they're not expected to attend core activities. These activities are optional in nature and allow students to pick and choose what they would like to attend. Activities range in a variety of formats, including informational, educational, and interactive. Some activities are in the morning, others are in the late evening. When planning these activities, we try to plan for a diverse student body with a variety of needs and interests. You may check out the comprehensive schedule of the On Iowa activities on our website. Of course, being a research university, we conduct a lot of assessment to ensure that what we're doing is helpful and valuable to our students. I thought you might enjoy seeing these top ways that students have shared that the On Iowa program has helped them transition to the university community. As you read through these 7 bullets, I think the one overall theme is the connection to other people and campus resources. Here's a comment that one of our students made regarding their experience. On this slide, you'll notice 3 outcomes students noted about being involved with the On Iowa program. They have connected with at least one person that they plan to keep in touch with, as well as learned academic strategies and how to get involved on campus. Please know that we recognize the day you bring your students to campus will probably be full of emotions. The bullets on this slide show the general, not absolute, routine many families will go through on the day you bring your students to campus. One thing to keep in mind is that you have done a wonderful job supporting your student over the past years to get to the step in life. Be proud of yourself. Your student will have a great university support network to help them through their years at the university. And welcome to the Hawkeye family.
All right, thank you so much, Greg and Kate, for all this great information on the move-in process and about On Iowa, the students' first interactions here on campus. We'll now move into the question and answer portion of our webinar. Please remember that we have lots of people attending the webinar, and our presenters are unable to answer questions about specifics on your student's experience, but they can provide information that may be helpful in guiding your student. If you have a question, type it in the question box on the side. We'll then read the question so all participants can hear, and then our presenters will answer the question. If we're unable to get to your question during the webinar, we will follow up with you via email to answer the question. Okay, first question. This person has a question regarding cleaning supplies and how students clean their dorm rooms. For instance, should my student bring a vacuum cleaner? Greg?
Yeah, we do recommend that students potentially consider bringing a vacuum cleaner. Some of our residence hall front desks have vacuums to check out. but you may want something smaller, more compact, for quick cleanups in your room. This is an item, though, that I recommend that you wait to purchase until you get to campus. Some of our rooms are carpeted. Some of our rooms have some vinyl-esque flooring, which would probably precipitate a different sort of vacuum cleaner or a Swiffer or something along those lines that you may want to clean with as well, too. So, but a lot of our desks do have Dyson-style vacuum cleaners that you can check out as well too. So that's one of those items to do a little checking on once you get to the residence hall and save that purchase till you get to town.
Right. Next question. What happens if we arrive early or late for our move-in time?
Well, again, we really encourage you to follow those specific times. If you arrive early, during the course of the day, we should be prepared to handle you, and late arrivals as well too, we should be able to handle you. Once you get there, we're not going to turn you away, but making sure that you arrive at the proper time is going to make sure that you have the parking space that you're going to want to have to unload as well too. But if you're a little early or a little late, we should be able to accommodate as well too.
Okay. Okay, if my student is in a wheelchair, are they able to attend events for ONOWA?
Absolutely. We want ONOWA to be the best experience for all of our students. So if you if your student has any type of accommodations that we need to be aware of, go ahead and shoot us an email at oniowa.uiowa. No, wait, hold on a second.
ONOWAprogram@uiowa.edu.
That's it. Shoot us an email. We can certainly accommodate anything that a student may need. I will also add that all of our CAM buses, for anybody with a physical need for an accommodation, can actually help. They have ramps that are lowered, and they have special seating on the buses. So all the CAM buses are handicap accessible, which is fantastic.
Great. Next question. My student is checking in on Sunday for marching band. Can I arrive anytime on Sunday? And is there time for all these ONOWA activities with the marching band practices?
I'll go ahead and address the ONOWA piece first. So we actually work with with Kevin Castins, who is the marching band director. And so we definitely do provide an ONOWA experience around the marching band schedule. So that is not a problem. That also goes with our Honors Primetime program and Iowa Edge program. We will work with those programs, and we have worked with those programs to make a special arrangements. So yes, they will be well in attendance at both programs.
If you're arriving for marching band during the course of Sunday, you still need to sign up for a specific move-in time during the day so that we know when that you're going to arrive. So you'll have the option to choose from those times that are available.
Another Sunday question. So I'm dropping my student off on Sunday. Will there be activities? Can they get to know people? Is anyone going to be in the dorms to help them out, or are they just kind of on their own until Tuesday?
There will be some limited activities in the residence hall starting on Sunday. Again, those resident assistants and other staff members in the building will be there making students feel welcome, making sure that they have connections, making sure that they have somebody that they can go to the dining center to eat with on those days as well too. So there will be activities and opportunities to start to engage. It's also a great time to meet the folks that are there early on your floor and other folks in your building that will be there as well too.
Okay. I'm not sure if my student has picked up his ID. So what happens about move-in if they don't have a student ID yet?
We'll still be able to move them in with a specific. They'll need a photo ID of some sort. That'll allow them to get into the room as well too. The thing that we'll let them know at that point in time is on Monday that they need to go get their Hawk ID, because that's their way that they will be able to access their meal plan in the residence halls. If they haven't gotten their Hawk ID at the time that they move in, we will make sure that they get a wristband that will allow them to eat meals until they do receive their Hawk ID.
Okay. Are there other questions, last minute questions from anybody in the audience here? Oh, there we go. Okay, so this question is about the bathroom situations in the dorms. Like, do students need to bring shower curtains? And toilet paper and cleaning supplies for the bathrooms, or is that covered by the staff?
Yeah. Cleaning supplies are required. Shower curtain is provided, but a lot of students will find it's a pretty minimal shower curtain. So some students will decide to get something with a little more decorative appeal at different times or along those lines. Toilet paper is on your own as well too, so there are a few supplies. We do have some limited toilet paper available at front desk options as well. Most students opt that if they have their own restroom to purchase and supply their own toilet paper, but we do have some available rolls there if that's not something that you're interested in doing as well too. But our staff does not go in and clean the individual restrooms that are found within student rooms. It's a great new skill that students get to pick up and learn.
Yes. I think that's all the questions we have. So that's all the questions we have for today. So we want to thank again Kate Soika and Greg Thompson for joining us today. All these webinars will be posted online at http://uc.uiowa.edu/family-resources, or you can find it. So they'll be there. If you are unable to get your questions answered during the webinar, we will follow up with you via email, where we'll include the link again where you can find this again to answer questions. Any additional questions can be sent to uc-retention@uiowa.edu for a response from a University of Iowa staff member. And now please join us next month for next month's webinar, Handling Homesickness, Strategies for Success, on Friday, September 1st, 2017, from noon to 1. This will be hosted by the University Counseling Center. Thank you so much for joining us today. On Iowa, go Hawks!